Right then, so it's looking like we've got a big promise from Turki Alalshikh and Eddie Hearn on a big up-and-coming card, possibly, definitely it looks like, coming in 2025. I'm going to play this quick clip before we fully get into the video, but yeah, here we go.
Eddie, ready to the card of February.
We'll start that again.
Eddie, ready to the card of February.
February 22nd, I think the best card yet for Riyadh season.
I hope so.
Let's go.
Thank you.
So February 22nd, apparently we're going to see the best card in Riyadh season history. Interesting. Will this be a success or will it be an absolute flop? I don't know. Part of me is kind of thinking that we might all end up being a little bit disappointed by the news of it all. It's interesting. We're going to be talking through possible possibilities of what this could be, who could be on the card, who will be main eventing. I think, I don't know. I'm going to take their words on it and hope that, we're going to be getting the best card we've seen. But I don't know. Will it be better than Day of Reckoning, though? I don't know if I am actually going to take the words on it, actually. Will it be better than the Day of Reckoning? Because so far, I think that's the best Riyadh season card there's been. And I think that's going to be very difficult to top. I just feel like, the whole thing of the card being heavyweights as well brings in everyone to do with just every boxing fan there is. Anyone who's, watched a little bit of boxing, casuals or real proper casuals, obviously the hardcores as well. But, where there's going to be a massive worldwide audience, that's what the Day of Reckoning bring. Will this one on February 22nd bring that one? I don't know. Will it have the same hype as what Day of Reckoning had? I don't know. I mean, there's so many questions to be answered, but Eddie Hearn and Turki Alalshikh are really promising something. I've heard as well, I've heard things that this could be another Matchroom versus Queensbury 5 versus 5. I ideally wouldn't want it to be that. And I feel like if it is that, I just feel like this promise of, this is the best Riyadh season cards we're going to see so far. I don't think that's going to be the case if it's a 5 versus 5 card. I don't think it will be. That's the thing. But it's like we have heard things that the 5 versus 5 card could be in February. And now we've got this news of a massive card February 22nd. But then I do think to myself, though, if it was a 5 versus 5 card, Frank Warren would have been in that video with Turki Alalshikh and Eddie Hearn. So possibly it's not. Or it might just be Eddie Hearn was the only one there with Turki Alalshikh. And that's why I don't know. It's difficult, but I just feel like if it's Matchroom versus Queensbury, February 22nd, I don't think it's going to be the best card for that Riyadh season I've seen. I feel like I just feel like the best card that we could see on Riyadh season is just when the best fight the best. That is what I think. And that kind of thing is what we got when we saw Day of Reckoning. I feel like Knockout Chaos showed quite a bit of that as well. Fury versus Usyk, I feel like that showed as well. I think the cards that we've got with Usyk Fury 2, I think that's really disappointing, to be fair. That's a really disappointing card. Like, good fights, but they're not good enough to be on the card. That's my opinion on it. Some are good fights, but they're not good enough to be on the card. You look at Beterbiev versus Bivol, obviously bloody world-class elite main event. Undercard's decent, but it wasn't absolutely outstanding where you're going to get a worldwide audience there. That's the thing. With Fury Usyk, the rematch, even though the undercard's not great, I mean, as I said, you've got good fights on there, but I don't think they're Saudi-worthy fights on like an Usyk Fury card. But you're going to get a worldwide audience on that one anyway. So I kind of understand, like, you're going to get an audience on that one anyway. But I think I just feel like also as well, obviously the Zerdo versus Crispin Smith card, I don't think that's great. I thought Crawford versus Madrimov. I thought that card was good, but it wasn't absolutely mind blowing. If you get what I mean. With this one on February 22nd, we're gonna have to get someone a big card, a big main event that brings in a worldwide audience. And there's been, things that have been said about Anthony Joshua not being ready for the rematch against Daniel Dubois in February. So if Anthony Joshua is off that card, Anthony Joshua is a guy who can bring in a good worldwide audience. With AJ looking unlikely to now fight on that card, what do you now do for a main event where you're going to get a full-on worldwide audience for it? That's what I think now. Who would be main event? Because I think for all of us hardcores, we absolutely love the idea of Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker. I think that's the fight that should happen anyway, but it's not one that I think can main event and bring in a full-on worldwide audience and, have like a record-breaking pay-per-view sales or something like that. That doesn't do that for me. It doesn't for anyone. It doesn't bring in like a worldwide audience. It's difficult because Fury won't be on the card. AJ won't be on the card. Usyk won't be on the card. I mean, I feel like to do something like that, it has to be something like a proper where you get in a massive audience, bringing like a load of casuals as well. You can't really do that without like AJ Fury Canelo won't be on that card because Canelo said not really going to work with Turki Alalshikh. So Canelo won't be on that card. What else do you do? Bivol versus Beterbiev rematch. I do think that Bivol versus Beterbiev rematch brings in a lot more eyes than the first one did, 100%. But unless I don't know, I feel like it could be a bit too soon for a rematch though. And actually, also I just thought of it. We've also heard that Beterbiev's looking like he's going to have to take on a mandatory now. So that's the thing. So it looks like that's not going to be one that happens. Could they get Terence Crawford into main event? That's something. Terence Crawford into main event. I feel like a Terence Crawford versus Canelo fight would do that, but I don't see that happening. I've already said as well, it doesn't look like Canelo's going to work with Turki Alalshikh unless they offer him something massive. But again, I just don't see that. But if that does happen, then that's something that's going to bring in a massive audience, if that is the main event. But I doubt that, though. I mean, if we look, I can't fully think of a main event. But if you look at, what could the undercard be? You've got to have someone like Zhang on there. You've got to have Parker on there. You've got to have some interesting names on there. I mean, could you get someone like Virgil Ortiz Jr. on that undercard? That could be good. He was originally meant to fight Tim Tszyu on the Crawford Madrimov one, so you never know. Virgil Ortiz could be involved. That could be pretty good. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, actually, that could be something that happens on the card because obviously Conor Benn can't fight in the UK. Eubank versus Conor Benn must be involved in this card on some way. I'm guessing that must be. If we're talking about a massive card, I think that's got to be. I think that's got to be on it. I think Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn's got to be on it. But as a main event, no, because I only think that brings in a British audience. That's the thing. That only brings in a British audience. I don't think the Americans are going to be too overly invested in that one as much as the Brits are. That's the thing with that. So there's an issue. But as I said, with Crawford's now, built his name up massively. Other than Canelo in a massive fight, though, who do you fight? Because obviously we've heard things about Fundora, though. Unless you pay Fundora off, but Fundora is not going to sell anything. Let's be real. He's not really got much of a following at all. It's so difficult to full on get a real interesting one. But I don't know. This could be a flop for all we know. It really could, because I don't think Daniel Dubois headlining a card against someone that's not AJ, Fury, or Usyk, it's not really going to do anything if we're being real. It's not. It could be on the card, yes. I mean, Dubois Parker fight could be co-main event to a huge main event, but I mean, What would it be though? What would it be? That, like, you know, that is the huge question that's got to be answered. I feel like on that undercard as well, though, you've got to have something like Jaya Patea on it, possibly against the winner of Zerdum and Chris Smith if they're ready. Now, I don't think they'd have a quick turnaround for Feb, but the money is there though. If you do think of it, though, the money would be there. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what do you actually do? What do you actually do? It's gonna be interesting to see. I just have a feeling this could be a flop. I don't know. I just have a feeling it could be a flop. But let's see. I reckon the undercard could be good, but then the main event could be slightly underwhelming. That's the thing. I reckon we could have a very solid undercard, but the main event could be, you could do better than that, and it won't be like, and it probably won't. It'll probably be a good card, but it probably won't turn out to be as good as they're saying. It won't be the best Riyadh season card we've seen. Not a chance, I don't think. Every time something like this is said, it doesn't happen. But we could be wrong this time around. Every time something's not said, like something like the Day of Reckoning, where, you know, no one really knew about behind the scenes of that being made, and that was made, everyone was blown away. But with all the talk here, I don't know. Anyway, let's just wait and see. Anyway, thanks for watching. But fingers crossed for a good card. Fingers crossed for the best card that we've seen, and a big main event. If it's Crawford Canelo, I'll be absolutely blown away, but I doubt it will be. And AJ's off the card as well, it's looking like. So who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching.